setting New Year's resolutions, but if you've ever peeked inside of a gym come January 1st, you'll notice many are setting their resolutions around fitness. Now, Nixon, you went out to a local gym and chatted about this fitness trend during the new year. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, that would explain the outfit for tonight. I will say, though, we're both purple, matching very nicely. But, Kenesha, I trekked through today's rain and I went over to Squad Fitness and spoke with one of the owners, Eddie Stewart, about how folks can actually stick to their New Year's resolutions. One of the biggest themes when it comes to New Year's resolutions is that they're oftentimes not kept, with many people abandoning them within the first few weeks of the new year. Another theme is fitness. Whether it's for overall health, to gain more muscle, to become more lean, many people hit the gym come January. But how can people actually make this resolution of fitness stick?
My first piece of advice is consult someone who you trust that knows what they're talking about. Just kind of guide you along and start out slow.
Speaking of starting out slow, many people do the exact opposite when it comes to New Year's resolutions, which can be a mistake.
I think the biggest mistake people make in January making New Year's resolutions, they try to do too much. They set too many lofty goals. I'm going to cut this out, I'm going to cut out alcohol, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to cut out bread, and they just going to cut it out completely. I'm going to go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, and it's just too much.
When starting or restarting your fitness journey, you don't want going to the gym to feel like a chore. In order to avoid that, figure out how you like to move your body and exercise.
I think the biggest thing is find some type of exercise you enjoy doing. As people have varied interests, some people like to swim, some people like to run, some people like to bike. There's many exercises you can do out there, physical fitness, to keep you in shape. If you don't like lifting weights, don't join a gym. And find a gym that's perfect for you if you do like lifting weights. Whether it be CrossFit, Iron Tribe, Squad Fit, whatever it may be, you need to find the niche that works perfect for you so that you enjoy it and you're more apt to stick with it.
To read these tips at length, head on over to fox54.com.
One of the top New Year's resolutions many of us tackle is eating better, and the word diet sometimes gets a bad rap. Our Ken McCoy spoke with an expert from the University of Alabama, Birmingham to help you see it a different way.
So I bet a lot of you, when you thought about your New Year's diet, you hopped on social media and you scrolled, looking for the perfect diet, hoping that this one would work for you. But after my talk with the expert today, I'm here to let you in on a little secret. There really isn't one.
This is the time of year that people want to make change, and I don't necessarily think of it as a resolution. We're always changing.
Dr. Holly Wyatt with the UAB Department of Nutrition and Sciences says when beginning this journey, the first tip to remember your why.
With the new year, the first thing that people want to do is say, this is what I'm going to do, and they want to jump and go, and that's good. It's good energy. They're ready. It feels good, and I don't discourage that. But at the same time, I want them to spend just as much time as why do you really want to do it?
Next, throw out your own meaning of the word diet.
I don't really get hung up on the word, A lot of times people think diet means restriction, means, pain, suffering, all those kinds of things. But to me, diet is just the food I eat.
Also, don't measure your success by just a scale.
It's not going to be linear. I always say, especially with weight loss, let's have multiple things we're measuring. So yes, body weight may be one thing, and I do encourage people, if that's their goal, to measure that, but that's not the only thing. What other things can you measure? How are you feeling? How are your clothes fitting? What's your energy level?
And last, set yourself up for success.
Change your environment, the things that are around you to support you in your new diet. If you're trying to cut down on sugar, get the sugar out of the house. Let's take our physical environment and make it support us. And
to get a full list of tips, head over to our website at fox54.com. For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
From soaring inflation and rising interest rates to the ongoing effects of the pandemic, we can expect the economic landscape to remain predictably unpredictable.
With the high inflation, everything, in 2021, the personal saving rate dropped to 10.5%.
While there's not much we can do to influence the economy, there are ways to ensure your own finances are intact to make it through 2023. First, financial planning is for all levels of income.
The bottom line is everybody should have plan. And there's no income limit. So if you're just making hourly wages, you still need to have a plan.
Understand how to properly create a budget as early as possible.
So we're talking about here is to have a person to have a complete picture of this person's short-term and long-term goal. The most important thing is always you just start young.
Prioritize an emergency fund.
The emergency fund is getting more and more important in this economic environment. During recession, you'll see these days, you'll see a lot big technology companies have started laying off people. And so when a person is planning for emergency fund is really important.
If you want to stay on top of debt, the key is using cash.
So supposedly if you just set a certain amount of cash allowance for your grocery shopping and your maybe just some entertainment eating out, and then once that pile of money is gone, you cannot do anything else.
Also, before you try a debt consolidation company, Shin warns to do your research because it might be a potential scam. For Fox 54 News, I'm Kim McCoy.
It's a new year, so you may be starting a New Year's resolution. Our Jasmine Bird has tips on how you can tackle the resolution of getting organized in 2023. Jasmine, what's the best way to get started?
So the National Association of Professional Organizers reports that on average, we spend 1 year of our lives looking for most lost items. That's over 8,700 hours. So if you're looking to become more organized in 2023, I spoke with one local professional organizer who tells us ways to get started.
Yeah, you just want to start small.
Karen Wright, creator and owner of Life Simplified Professional Organizing Company, says on the road to becoming more organized in 2023.
I mean, you just want to take baby steps. You don't want to look at a big space and, then you're going to be overwhelmed and you're not going to know where to start.
Wright recommends starting with something like a coat or a linen closet,
because those are small enough spaces where you can just pull everything out and get your like items together and evaluate what you're using, what you're not using.
And once you evaluate what you're not using and what you don't want,
and that's a great time to go ahead and donate to those that are less fortunate, that they can enjoy those items rather than let them sit in your house and take up prime real estate.
And for those on an organizing budget,
and if they're on a budget, just again, taking one space at a time, starting small and just going through space by space,
even drawer by drawer and cabinet by cabinet, and getting those light areas together.
So you can truly see what you have. So you're not, spending money to bring anyone in to do that.
Wright says, all in all,
everything in your home really needs to have a home to live in, so to speak.
Wright says focusing on evaluating and reading what you truly need versus what you truly want weekly or monthly will serve you well in the future and in your everyday life in general.
2023, 2 sleeps away, and many of you will get started on New Year's resolutions. Our Ken McCoy spoke with an expert from Huntsville Psychotherapy and Counseling Services on how to make those goals more attainable.
The new year presents the perfect opportunity for many to turn over a new leaf, like coming here to John Hudd Park to get a little bit more active. But before you get ahead of yourself, there are some ways to make the most out of this new year.
Making new and necessary lifestyle changes is always a good idea, but the first of the year is the time where those goals become a priority.
It's the beginning of the year, the first month of the year, and a lot of times the first day of the year. And so it feels good to start on a first versus starting mid-year or mid-month. And so it feels like I have a fresh start.
And the idea of having a fresh start makes this tradition appealing.
Making a New Year's resolution gives people the opportunity to say, this is something that I am saying I'm going to do for the remainder of the year. And a lot of times we want to improve ourselves, but it would be beneficial for us to have realistic resolutions.
A drawback many face is not keeping up with the goals they started.
You want to be kind to yourself too if you are unable to achieve those goals, because a lot of times we're making lifestyle changes as a goal, and we want to know and keep in mind that it takes 90 days to make a new habit.
And Vega has a tip on how to get started making more realistic goals.
I would definitely reference a SMART goal, and that is an acronym for being specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely. So be very specific with what your goal is. Go into detail about it and make sure that you are able to obtain it, that is realistic for you. And then we can even put some type of timeline or detailed identification of a measurement so that we know what we're doing.
Another tip that was shared, ask for help. Starting a new thing can be challenging. That's why support matters. For more, visit our website at fox54.com. In Huntsville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.